The Osu World Cup is Osu's biggest tournament. It's essentially the Osu Olympics, which makes it one of the best ways of tracking which country is the most dominant at any given time. It's been the ground for some of the most legendary rivalries and controversies in Osu history, and some of the most hype moments the game has ever seen. The history of OWC works not only as a record of the tournament itself, but also the state of the game as a whole, which makes it a really fascinating topic to recount. The first OWC took place in 2011, and oh boy, was it a rough one, mostly because of its staffing. It started out with a positive community reception, with many saying the idea was great if it was executed properly. But that doesn't mean there weren't any concerns. One of the main staff, Luna, had already staffed some shaky tournaments, and some of the other staff also didn't have the best track record. They were also using a seeding system, which matched teams by region. This had the chance to match up the two best teams in the first round. This, paired with no double elimination, made luck a large factor in the tournament. But people were excited enough about the idea that much of this concern was brushed aside, and the tournament was created. The tournament's positive initial reception held true during the first half of its run, but as the map pool progressed, it got progressively harder, which is pretty standard for tournaments, but wasn't done quite right here. When the tournament was in its later stages, the maps started getting aggressively difficult, to the point where some of the maps had 1 or no FCs. Players at this point were simply playing to pass the map better than the other team, rather than FCing. This led to a fair bit of controversy, but it was nothing in comparison to what would happen very shortly after. Right before the finals, the already controversial moderator Luna decided to ban the Dutch player named Eddie because of some toxic things he said in the hashtag Dutch chat. This caused a huge amount of controversy because the things he said were not the best, but most also agreed that they weren't worthy of a ban from a tournament that he'd spent tens of hours playing in. This caused the dislike of the mods and the tournament as a whole to boil over, with many seeing the tournament as a failure that didn't measure up to what it could have been, especially because the Dutch team ended up playing with 3 players in the finals, which would not have happened if they didn't ban Eddie. The Dutch team ended up losing in the finals to Taiwan, which many thought was fair, saying that it would have happened either way. But it wasn't the definitive answer like people would have wanted for a World Cup. That doesn't mean there wasn't anyone who enjoyed it. Actually, most did to an extent. But the errors made by the staff did dampen some of the hype that could have been there. There was initially some question about whether or not there would be a second OWC. But because the idea was still cool and it didn't entirely fall apart on the previous try, they did it again. The team behind the World Cup had changed a lot since the first one, mostly for the better. Luna was banned prior to the tournament, meaning that he couldn't be part of the staff, which removed the most controversial member of it. And they got a full team to decide on the map pool. This seemed to be addressing both of the concerns from the previous tournament, which were the mods and the map pool. They also added groups to keep from the teams being unfairly seeded, which took away some of the luck from the previous tournament. This OWC was looking a lot better than the first one, both in terms of organization and rules, and in almost every way it was. There were still some who had problems with the tournament, but at this point they were only a very vocal minority, which means that we could focus much more on the play side of the second World Cup. Let's first focus on North America. The US were eliminated by Brazil in the first round of the tournament 3-1 in a very convincing fashion. Canada was eliminated by Poland, also in the first round. On the European side, the UK didn't even make it out of grooves, and the Dutch and Polish teams also had disappointing performances, which left Russia as the only European team who performed well, beating the previous year's winner Taiwan 3-0, and they made it all the way to the semifinals, which seemed great for them, until they played Korea, who had clearly stepped up their game since the previous OWC, and now were one of, if not the best team in the tournament. They swept Russia 4-0, making it clear to everyone just how good they were. And then there was Japan. Japan was so incredibly dominant going into the finals that they still hadn't lost a single point. But it seemed like Team Korea might be the ones to give them a run for their money, which, sadly, wasn't the case. Team Japan beat Korea 4-1, making them the undisputed best team of 2012. Korea took second, Brazil ended up taking third, beating out Russia. The last thing to note for the second OWC was that the Chinese team was eliminated, which wasn't all too surprising at the time, but seeing how the next few would go, it's pretty funny. The third OWC was met with lots of excitement after the success of the second one, and with an even bigger team it seemed like nothing could go wrong. But it wasn't to be. They ran into many of the same problems the first World Cup had, with bad map pools and many matches decided by forfeit because of time differences. In the end, Korea won again, with Japan coming in second and Taiwan in third. Asia still had pretty absolute domination, with players like Hakizi on Team Korea and Urushi on Team Japan. This OWC was seen as a failure by much of the community, and people were hoping that the next one would be better. The discussion thread has been deleted for this OWC, meaning the gauging the community reaction to it wasn't too easy. But from what I can gather, the tournament still didn't have double elimination, and there were a few scheduling issues, but apart from that, the tournament wasn't too bad. The matches were pretty interesting though, with the US and China dueling it out in the first round, and China being the victor 5-2. China then went against Poland, who beat them 5-4 in an extremely intense match. Poland then had to face Taiwan, who had had a very impressive showing, beating Brazil, who knocked them out of the tournament the previous year, and Japan, who took second in the previous OWC. And Poland didn't stand a chance, and they got absolutely annihilated 6-0. Taiwan then faced Korea in the grand finals. The Korean team consisted of some of the most insane players at the time, with the only absence being Kokizi, who was inactive at the beginning of the tournament and banned by the time of the finals. The Taiwanese team had already proven they were better than any of the teams Korea had faced previously, but Korea had also completely swept every team they faced up to this point, making the outcome fairly unpredictable. This match was between two teams that had both won a World Cup, and with these two teams most likely being the two best teams ever to play in OWC, there was a lot of hype going into their match, and somehow it managed to live up to it. Korea began with a convincing 3-1 lead over Taiwan.
It's going to be a win for Korea by 14 million points with a really strong play.
To the best of the moments. They're actually showing the kind of performances we kind of expected to see from them early in this tournament, but it just hasn't really shown. Who knows, maybe they've just been holding back. Maybe now it just got real.
Taiwan is really hurting Korea right now. Look at the score advantage. They are taking off, and this is going to be a win for Taiwan.
But it didn't last long, with Taiwan coming back and making it 4-3 in their favor.
Control. They're fast, really fast.
A pretty clear win from Taiwan, increasing for Taiwan. And despite Dungeon's best efforts,
Korea wouldn't come down without a fight though, and they were able to win 2 maps in a row, making it 5-4, match point in their favor.
But as you can see, Korea is really catching up with Taiwan at the moment.
Yeah, they're going to take the lead here. Oh, but Dragon Human misses for Korea right at the end, so it's actually really close.
It's back. They're both gaining points as equally fast, and Taiwan is keeping like 1 of 2 million points ahead.
Yeah, they have an ever so small advantage. This is going to come down to the wire. It's so close. And this is going to be a win for Taiwan by less than 1 million points, 883,000 points. Taiwan take this. We're going into tiebreaker.
After an absurdly close match, it was tiebreaker.
Seems like Shizu is having a fit.
Well, I think I would be too in his situation.
Probably so pumped up for this match in particular.
And with that, Korea had won OWC 2013. It was the first time the tournament had a truly insane moment, and it likely helped a lot in making the tournament more popular. 2 of the best teams, who had both won an OWC previously, went to tiebreaker in the finals, and it was excellent. Well, not entirely. OWC 2013 was being streamed on Twitch, which was a step in the right direction for it to become the spectacle which showed the peak of player performance to the community in a fashionable way. But it wasn't the greatest experience. The video was low quality, there were random disconnects only seen by stream viewers, causing a difference between the video you're watching and what's being said.
It's so close. And this is going to be a win for Taiwan by less than 1 million points, 883,000 points. Taiwan take this. We're going into tiebreaker.
And, most importantly, the commentary was atrocious. It was delayed, the commentators weren't the best at filling space, and, on top of that, it was really low quality. This obviously isn't the end of the world, but it also held the tournament back from being a real event that it could have been, and that it would eventually become. The players' skill in the competition was there. Now it needed slightly better organization and much more emphasis on the display aspects to turn it into what it had the potential to be. One other thing that was very apparent this OWC was the domination Asia had over the entire tournament, with only Asian teams winning in the first 4 years of its runtime. Let's first start with the change of production value. The World Cup was made considerably easier to watch in 2014, with less visual clutter and a higher quality stream. With the technical aspects improved enough to make the tournament watchable, there was only one problem, which is casting, which surprisingly this year was pretty decent, especially in the later rounds. They effectively filled space and it wasn't terribly delayed, which led to a big overall improvement in the tournament's watchability. But that wasn't the only change. They also added double elimination and an overall better structure to the tournament. All of this made the tournament much more enjoyable for both players and viewers. This also happened to one of the craziest OWCs ever, at least play-wise. First, the US, who finally had a decent showing, with them making it to the semi-finals and winners before losing to the absolutely insane Polish team, and facing the other tournament favorite, Japan. They were swept both times, but this was still much better than before, and they'd finally built a decent team. It still wasn't anything crazy, but it was certainly an improvement. It was also much better than China, who was knocked out of winners in the first round by South Korea, and then were beaten by the Netherlands 6-0, knocking them out of the tournament. One big shock was Taiwan being knocked out in the first round, seeing as they nearly won the last one. Germany played very well, making it to the winners' finals and taking on Poland, who beat them 3-6, and later being eliminated by Japan, which was to be expected, seeing as those were two of the best teams in the entire tournament. Both Japan and Poland, along with Korea, were seen as the best teams in the entire tournament. Poland had consistently been seen as a strong team, but had never fully lived up to the expectations. But in 2014, they finally did. They rolled through every team they faced, including South Korea, who won the previous OWC, which put them as the front runner for the tournament. This also, for the first time in a long time, put South Korea in losers. They stomped everyone they faced, finally ending up in losers finals against Japan, who had started the tournament with a very poor performance, losing to Sweden, who wasn't all too great. This put them into losers in the first round, which would have been the end for a less resilient team. But they weren't going down without a fight.
Keep a consistent combo and she just broke it, so it's pretty much Uruchi all alone in this one.
Yeah, he passed the small sliders and
he alone had more points than the entire Ukrainian team, and that's the nail on the coffin. That's gonna be Japan advancing with a full combo by Ruruchi with only 3 100s.
People are actually making it through. No surprise
Yeah,
here,
Ruruchi and Mercure is doing absolutely amazing right now. They are keeping it in for Japan, and it looks like they might actually win this. Look at the score difference, it's 15 million points. Only Taku with the full combo on the Dutch team, and it looks like this might finally be the end. Can Ruruchi and Mercure keep it up? It looks like they will be able to. Look at that, look at these accuracies, over 99% on both. This is absolutely amazing. Taku is doing the best he can. Mercurius finally misses, but that's the end, and that's Japan moving on to the finals of the mover.
So Potiphar and Mercure is still holding quite a strong combo. It doesn't look like United States are going to be able to come back from this as we come to the end of the song. This could be it. This is match point, and that's the spinner that's decided the fate of all. Incredible spin from Sober.
They had beaten Argentina, Ukraine, the Netherlands, and the US, and then they met South Korea in the losers finals.
The stream, our co-commentator and friend Sharpie.
Hello, Raikou. Yeah, Madcast is still trying the really low accuracy instead of poetry. It should be hard for them. I think it's a win for Japan on this.
There is a miss from Poetry. There was nothing that they could do really with that incredible full combo from Sayonara. Bye. Christ, that's it. Looks like Japan are just going to clinch this at the end. Unfortunately, that break from Crazy was pretty much game changing.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Wow, this could get close. I don't think they've got enough to push through though.
Okay, they call was.
There's just not enough notes, but in the last stream, could it happen? No, absolutely not.
That was so close.
Pushing them one ahead even.
Actually, it seems like Threshold is doing the job, even if Ruruchi again with a high accuracy, but he broke sadly on the small slider, and it will be a win for South Korea again.
Could well be the most incredible thing we've seen. Mercurius and Marucci. And we can't say that Marucci's carrying this time. Mercurius has just broken, but with 99% accuracy.
Mercurius broke.
But Crazy too. Crazy and Kirikaru have both broken. Japan's definitely going to take this. This is it. Japan have taken the point back, and they just need to break South Korea's point next time. Let's see it. Oh my god.
Oh.
That's incredible. But it doesn't matter, because pretty much everyone's holding a weak combo at the moment. I think Japan have a chance to take this coming to the end of the match. This could be it.
I haven't seen Ruruchi fail or miss a circle.
No, Ruruchi hasn't missed. Are you kidding? There we go. Incredible. That's just unbelievable. Ruruchi utterly carried that map. It has to be said. What a combo.
But yeah, it's the end. It's a win on this map for South Korea. And I think it will be a full combo, definitely for Sayonara. But yeah, it's a full combo.
So easy for him. See that movement as he moves into the last note? It's just so easy for him. No stress whatsoever. Only Sayonara by with the full combo.
Only Sayonara is trying to be really hard. They have too much points. There's an early
great.
advantage.
Mercurius will have to miss now. Mercurius will have to miss for them to come back. That is it.
Mercurius is still full combo. Oh, he's still holding the combo, relay combo.
Unbelievable. This is so Mercurius's match.
Yeah.
That's
I
it.
think it's the end.
That is officially it. Japan
That's the
take
game,
it.
guys. Yeah, the early advantage made all the difference.
Indeed. And they just had the right setup for it as well. That's incredible. Ruchi, Cinch, Mercurius and Proletary, congratulations for taking this win today.
And it's the end for South Korea in this tournament.
So that is indeed the end of South Korea. This is the first time that they've ever been knocked out of a World Cup since the first World Cup ever. That's it. South Korea for the first time are out.
Japan had come out on top in an extremely close set, and now had to face Poland, who had yet to lose a single game in the tournament. It was expected to be a really close and exciting game, with Poland most likely coming out on top. But that wasn't what happened at all.
Futofu following up with over 1,000. Amai Hachimitsu is there with above 1,000 as well, but it just doesn't look like they'll be able to take it. Cinch and Rock both miss at the same time. We're coming up from the end.
Ruchi and Mercurius with incredible combos, and Mercurius and Rubberful sharing extremely high accuracy. No surprise from Mercurius. That's incredible.
And
Gotta
it's a
wonder how
shame,
many
really,
people.
because I mean, Poland's combos are really starting to get up there now. It's just not gonna mean enough.
It's not going to work, and that's going to be the first match taken away by Japan. They need another one to win the finals. Keep in mind. So this is still, Poland is still in this game. And
I
they
don't
do
think
it.
they're
I
gonna
just
make it.
don't think they have the time. They might not have. They don't have the time. They don't have the combo. They've got Amai Hachimitsu and Sterum with great combos, but that's going to be it. They have
This
to
is
hope
nail
for,
biting.
they have to hope for failures at this point. They have to hope that Japan will pull off what Poland did at the beginning of the match, and several players failed the map. But it looks
But
like it's
that's
just
not
not
gonna
going to
happen,
happen. It's not going to happen. Ruchi and Forte holding on like nobody's business. Potofu with a great combo as well. And it looks like this will finally
broken.
be, after 4 years of being denied, Japan
And that's
take
it.
home an OS World Cup. They will be the 2014 OS World Cup winners. They take it away on this last map.
Japan stomped on Poland very convincingly, beating them twice in a row, and finally winning their first OWC after multiple top 3 finishes. And they stopped Poland from becoming the first non-Asian country to win OWC. As a whole, this OWC was much better run and much more watchable, and it was a step in the right direction. A step in the right direction that was needed for what was going to happen in the next OWC. With the last OWC being such a big hit with both players and viewers in 2014, the 2015 World Cup was hotly anticipated, and when it was announced, was met with lots of excitement. This also brought a big change to scoring, with the tournament being scored with the brand new Score V2, a scoring system which prioritizes accuracy over combo, instead of Score V1's heavy focus on combo and really nothing else. This change was initially met with some skepticism, but in hindsight it was a very positive one, which has become the standard scoring system for almost every tournament since. This OWC was also well run, with there being no match forfeits because of time zone differences due to a more lenient time schedule, leading to much more fair competition. This OWC also introduced one of the things the tournament had lacked the most, a prize pool. The addition of a prize pool raised the stakes, making it not just about winning for fame or supporter, but instead hard, cold cash. OWC 2015 solidified the tournament as OSU's first real esports event, with proper casting, rules, and prizes that made it very desirable both to watch and play. Groups was absolutely insane, with Japan being eliminated because of losing a couple of their best players, meaning that some other teams who didn't perform so well in previous years had a chance to actually win this one. During groups, one other thing became apparent, and that was that the US was going to be insane in 2015. They had had trouble in previous years because the game wasn't quite as popular there when players would have needed to join in order to be skilled enough to compete in OWC. But this year they were finally able to build a team that was as good as some of the Asian teams of years prior. In the round of 16, they eliminated Taiwan and then beat South Korea in the quarterfinals, taking them to the winners' semifinals against China, a team that was also fairly lackluster in years prior, but had made a huge upgrade. They had gone through a very different transformation in the US. The game wasn't much more popular there, but instead they had a slew of incredible tournament players become prevalent in 2015. They beat Poland in the quarterfinals, who had an absolutely mental team consisting of Rafis, Wilchq, and Wobeful, 6-2, knocking them down to losers, and generally played wildly better than their previous years. It was strange seeing two teams who had performed so poorly in the previous years facing off in the winners' finals, and it was really hard to predict who would win. Both teams had a set of star players that made them so successful. China had Matsumoto Raz, an overall great tournament player who also led the team in 2015. Rusbel, an absolute machine who to this day has some crazy unmatched scores. Zien, who specialized in double time. GGBY, a veteran of OWC and a stupidly consistent player. Dison, a speed and accuracy legend who could play pretty much anything thrown at him. And Springlane, a super consistent player who mainly focused on double time. The Chinese team was ridiculously strong when it came to speed, but they also didn't lack in any of the other categories. And then there was the US, who, after many years of mediocrity, seemed to have finally broken through and made a great team. They had Exilver, one of the best accuracy players, and a player that still sets scores that no one else can get anywhere near accuracy-wise. Exarius, one of the best tournament players ever. He could set an insane score on just about any type of map. And then Toy. Pretty much everyone already knows how incredible a player Toy is because of his numerous number ones and the grind that he's put into Osu and his community. And the US versus China was shaping up to become a very interesting rivalry.
Combos in the Exarius FC is going to be huge. Exarius needs to keep this FC, and only like one of the 500 combos can break right now. Ritzy 900 combo and an Exarius 1200 versus the Rustbell FC. Exarius and Ritzy breaking, however, and Rustbell and Dison are the only two left. China is going to be slowly approaching US's score. Is it going to be enough, though? Is Dison and Rustbell going to be able to pass the US with a 100,000 point deficit? It is very much looking like they are. And towards the end of this map, we're going to be seeing this happen now.
No
is the US
way.
going to lose to China?
No.
And at the way end of the map, US is going to be losing to China by 25,000 points.
China won the winners' finals 6-3 and sent the US down to face Poland, who they had already beaten. The US beat the Polish team 6-3, which is good, but China had beaten them 5-2. And with China beating the US on their first go, it seemed inevitable that the US couldn't make the double upset that was needed for them to become the first North American country to win OWC. But the US wouldn't let their previous failures determine their fate in the finals.
Why are you cursor dancing, Asarius? Why are you cursor dancing at the end? Exarius! But he still got the health. Team Rustbell combo, China just, they don't have enough time. 500,000 points. Too high of a lead. There's not enough map left. And I think the United States is going to take the first match.
Yeah, that's it. US take the first match here. 7.
The US had an impressive performance in their first match against China, beating them 7-2, and proving that this time would be different. China had been beaten pretty thoroughly in the first round, which put them on the ropes, with the next game being the decider for the biggest OWC ever. And, with thousands of viewers watching, the two teams battled it out.
By Rustbell on the Chinese side, so
Point for China.
yep, starting with the right foot, now China with the beast mode.
It's increasing. The United States and the Americans being strong. That China, they almost did, but it just wasn't enough. So close. Just buckled under them. Just couldn't hold it. How unfortunate for China. They could have had a break point, but it was not to be.
I don't know, he's not taking it just now. Exarius missing again. It's all up to Natalia holding that accuracy and that combo, but it's not happening. Even with 1,000 combo, it's not happening.
That's just
And a miss from Natalia. That's going to
I
be
think that's it.
No, it wasn't. He was going like.
No. Oh,
But China pulling out the lead again, and like there's a huge lead right now.
How unfortunate. And Natalia finally breaks. The claws of Kitty weren't enough. Tried so hard. 4-digit combo. Just
was
wasn't
really
enough. Look at that
incredible.
accuracy.
That really shows
God.
the potential of this score B2.
And how unfortunate for China. They were doing so well with Rustbell in the lead, but Exarius is at the forefront, and they're the kings today.
Oh, you totally didn't go there, did you?
It's a win they needed, though.
Yeah, no, you didn't hear anything, Zeke. I have no idea what you're talking about. He failed out. He's gotta bring it back. Can he bring it back?
He can.
I don't know if he can. There's still time, but he can't miss. If he misses one,
Yeah.
I think he got it. I think he's got it.
He got it. Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
there we
Rixia
go.
now failed it.
China. Wait,
And
wait,
Zodiac
what's-
as well. Oh my.
What's going on?
Rixia and Zodiac at the end failing, and that's going to be a win for China, I guess.
They've seen the scores, and United States each team has taken a point on their own pick. So could this really be going to tiebreaker? The way it's looking right now, it's very likely.
This is a lot closer than last
US
time.
there. Oh yeah.
If this does go to tiebreaker, that would just be the perfect end to everything.
It
I
would
think this
be.
is the grand final that everyone was looking forward to.
Oh yeah, definitely.
They-
Look at the accuracy. Silver. Yeah, with Rustbell just going ham, he's brought his accuracy back up to 97 as well. Only person beating him on that is Xarius. And he's trying his best. He really is, but Xarius won't be able to make that up on his own. The single man carry dream doesn't work if there's a higher combo on the other side. And Rustbell again, the wall.
Was that a fake for
Great wall
Matsumoto?
of China.
I'm not exactly sure what's going on with Matsumoto Arise there. It looks like there might have been a drop. It might have been a win. I don't know.
Yeah, China got it. Yeah, China got it. Matsumoto didn't fade the map at the end, so China is winning 4-3 in this one.
Yeah, looks like it. Towards the end of the map, China's got nobody left to take them, but Silver and Xarius for the United States are absolutely rocking it right now.
Zero is funny.
And as I say that, well,
But I mean, even then, it's not a huge issue. I mean, him and Silver have done really well here. I mean, look at that score gap.
Yeah, Silver misses again now. Oh, Toy
Oh
failed.
no!
No!
Toy failed.
did he fail?
No!
They failed the end.
Did he fail the ending?
5-3 in favor of China, right at
He
the end
did?
in the last
What?
room. I mean, in the last spaces
Is that the
section.
crucial break point? Could this be?
That is definitely.
50,000 points in it. Could China take here?
I don't
Song's
know.
about to speed up. Most intense fought coming up right now.
A miss from Roswell. I don't really know if they can make it.
Rustbell's gone,
GDPY
but
the only
GDPY
one.
got it. He's bringing it back, but it's not enough.
No, and miss and now.
You
A
won't
miss
be
from
able to do it.
GDPY. Not enough
So
time,
close.
not enough combos, but it was really close,
So
yeah.
close.
Last time, that's for sure.
It was
Accuracy
really close.
for Roswell, though.
Yeah, the accuracy
Two
from
100s.
Roswell is insane.
Yeah,
Roswell,
200, 250s and a
please.
miss.
Are there any fails at the end? I don't think there will be.
If there is, fail,
There he is.
Axarius and Matsumoto
Oh.
rise as well. I'm not sure about the others.
I think it's over. US I think has got this well in hand.
No, China.
No!
It's China the one.
completely failed.
Axarius is completely
What's
dead.
lived?
And Matsumoto rise, I don't know.
I
Yes,
see
it's China.
Xarius alive on my screen. I have no idea.
Okay, so Xarius failed instead of
Empty
Matsumoto,
link.
but China won by 76,000 points.
What?
Yep.
Yeah.
With the
Silver dropping as well.
Everyone's struggling so hard.
Nissan's
Oh my god, the
holding
space.
his breath. Nissan breaks.
And this can be the
Just like
chance of
that.
the United States to take it.
Toys got it. Rustbell's got it as well, but the combos just canceling each other
They
out.
have to
That break
survive
from
the end.
Nissan killed
They
it for
have to
China. They
survive
can
the end.
survive the end. There's no way they're gonna fail the end. Not on this map. It's not gonna happen. The US is gonna come back. Nissan had it, but then he didn't. Just like that. Flick of a whisker, snap of the finger, and the United States is back in it.
Oh, Ritza now with a miss, but probably not going to be enough. The scores are getting really
Come
close
on.
though.
It's
Nissan is
surreal.
golden age. They
Jump
might
at the
happen.
end.
But a miss from Nissan and Matsumoto as well.
Evil
China
triple
will
from
not be able to
Skystar.
take it. And there it goes the spirals with
They
the jumps
can't.
and the triangles and the sliders. But it's not going to be enough. The United States will take this point and forcing another match. Another
And
map.
China.
Wow, that
I'll
was
be
intense.
honest, I'll be honest, I was so worried that there was going to be another another fail on the US team.
Yeah, me too.
I was so worried.
The accuracy from
I'm so
Rustbell.
nervous.
Oh my god.
Guys, time to a fail to happen, but it's not really likely.
It's not gonna happen. There's only Zach screams at the end. Ritz ain't coming. Juan, what do you?
I'm not talking.
I didn't
I
hear
was
what
with
you
the
said,
guy.
Juan. I'm going to pretend I didn't hear that.
Okay, let's just pretend that nothing happens. United States has a huge advantage, like around 700,000 points, so they will take this point and they will force the tiebreaker for Furioso Melody is going to be.
Yes!
Oh my goodness!
Accuracy! Blitz's accuracy! What are these accuracies? With a break from Rustbell though on the jumps again, it's always those jumps in the ground.
What was that?
That was scary. Okay.
That was scary.
Break from Rustbell, China could have came back a little bit. Points are neck and neck right now. But because this is a song that people typically hold the highest of combos on any high combo count, and Rustbell's high combo could have brought it back there.
Certainly.
Yeah,
but now it's all about the accuracy.
Anybody can hold the accuracy. All about the accuracy.
Can't really hold a combo on this. Oh boy.
And there's like a 50k lead by the United States right now, and we're a little over halfway through the map.
Yeah, but we have to take this in point because of the amount of points that each player has. 50,000 points is a lot of difference.
Xarius!
Oh wow.
Tournament nerves getting to even Xarius, even United States' best player.
How can you not be feeling nerves right now?
Yeah.
Like, everyone is feeling nerves.
That shows.
Yeah, but they have to hold that pressure. They have to use that pressure in their favor in order to get the score that they need.
There we go.
And the difference is almost
Building up again.
it's so little right now.
Oh my.
Silver, no!
Rustbell breaking Xarius. Toy with the 360 combo right now. Toy is the only high combo right now. Xarius a little behind. Xarius breaking. Toy is literally inching this out further and further.
Where's our boy?
Huge lead for the United States right now.
This is looking good for United States. Right at the end.
Not enough point. Finally breaks the
Silver about to survive. Oh, Toby's close
Silver
to
holding a
winning.
200 combo right now. It's literally Silver versus Rustbell.
And Silver's winning.
Yeah, this is
looking like it's gonna be
looking for the
winning.
United States. Yeah.
Silver holds.
Oh my goodness. USA got this. USA got this. They have to keep that up. They just have to
West
survive.
by 100,000 points.
Oh no.
They survived.
The difference is really high, but it's
You know the final jump.
Oh, Toy
On
failed
the
it.
final jump.
Toy failed.
He didn't. No, he's still alive. He's still alive. He's still alive.
No!
Bring it back. He's got this. Bring it back. He's got it back.
And he recovers. It's like a 10.
And at the final jump, that is going to be hit. USA is going to be your 2015 OSU World Cup victors. USA is going to be your 2015 OSU World Cup victors this year, ladies and gentlemen, winning on Witch's Slave, Furious, and Melodia on the tiebreaker of Grand Finals.
That was really intense. Toy was so close.
It was the single most insane OSU tournament ever, and it was an awesome conclusion to the tournament's 5th anniversary. Both the World Cup and OSU itself grew a huge amount between early 2011 and the end of 2015. Just like the game, OWC started out in a bad place, with so many holes that needed to be patched that it seemed nigh on impossible to fix. But through the perseverance of both the community and the staff, it became something incredible. It's kind of odd, but the story of OSU and the OSU World Cup is a coming-of-age tale. Going from a waste of a great idea, which was recorded in 240p with no audio, to a tournament viewed by tens of thousands simultaneously, with rivalries and upsets that live up to the hype of the concept it's based off of tenfold. They have both become behemoths, which would have been unimaginable to someone just 2 years prior. The OSU World Cup is more than just a tournament. It's a testament to the persistence and perseverance of its community through even the most insurmountable of odds and worst of blows. I think that what makes OWC's story so perfect is the impossibility of it. And that's pretty special.